Now, before we go into the details of how corrosion of iron takes place, a few things I would like you to learn before that. This over here, this black line is actually representing an iron piece, and the blue semicircle object here is actually a water drop. Now, the water drop actually, when it is there on the metal, and there of course air all around, so this is a classic reason for corrosion to take place here. Two parts of the surfaces of the drop you have to see. The inside of the drop, there is no oxygen here, okay, because the oxygen is outside, and therefore the oxygen will be dissolved at the edges of the water drop. So since there is no oxygen here, this part center of the drop lacks oxygen, and over here iron starts giving away electrons, and iron undergoes therefore oxidation, we say. And because it has lost electrons, the center of the water drop becomes a positive terminal, because there are less electrons now. And those electrons that are given off by the iron over here at the center over here, they start moving towards the edges. So the center of the drop, I want you to remember, becomes anode or the positive terminal. Whereas at the edge of the drop, at the sides of the drop, there is air outside, so it dissolves in this part of the drop, and therefore it is rich in oxygen, and therefore this part over here will undergo reduction, because the oxygen here dissolved on the iron will accept these electrons, and since it accepts electrons, it will be negatively charged, and therefore the edges of the drop become the cathode. Now let us go into the details of how the iron rusts. So here these double lines show us that this is a bar of iron, and here this is a part probably which is not painted. Maybe this side is all painted, and therefore it won't corrode, but this part is like the paint has chipped off, and there's a water droplet on top of it. Now we know that the center of the drop becomes, this part is the anode and the edges are cathode. So what is the reaction that takes place here in the anode? The iron, I said, loses electrons, therefore it gets oxidized. So you can see iron is losing 2 electrons, and therefore it becomes Fe2 plus, and 2 electrons are given away. The electrons that are given away in the center, these electrons have shown with the purple arrows, they are moving towards the edges of the water droplet. And at the edges of the water droplet, the electrons come in contact with oxygen and of course the water droplet. And here you can see this is the reaction that takes place: oxygen, water, and 4 electrons. Now we know there's only 2 electrons here, but just consider here there are 4 electrons, and therefore this will become H, and O will become hydroxide ions, 4 OH ions. Now when only 2 electrons are given, how come 4 are here? Just to make things clearer, let us say there is not one atom of iron but 2 atoms. So let's multiply this entire equation with 2. If I multiply this entire equation with 2, you will get 2Fe gives you 2Fe2 plus, and therefore double of 2 electrons, that is 4 electrons. So you can say that in the center, every time 2 atoms of iron are getting oxidized, or they lose 2 electrons, and these, therefore in order 4 electrons are going to migrate. Now let us combine this second and the third equation. In fact, I am writing both these two equations on the next slide, and therefore we can get an overall reaction. The first reaction was 2Fe gives 2Fe plus 2 plus 4 electrons, and the second equation was this. The 4 electrons on the left and right will cancel out each other. So what do I have on the left side? 2 iron atoms, oxygen molecule O2 plus 2 H2O, and on this side 2 Fe plus 2 and 4 OH ions. Now the Fe2 and OH, since one is positively charged and the other one is negatively charged, they will attract each other and they will form a molecule. By crossing their valencies, you get FeOH2, and therefore you get FeOH2. So finally we can balance this equation. If I put a 2 here, okay, and a 2 here, you will find that of course and a 2 for FeOH2, it gets balanced. After 2 FeOH2 is formed, the FeOH2 will get further oxidized, means Fe will further give one more electron to OH and attach one more OH to it and become FeOH3 by further oxidation. Then FeOH3 will decompose, and when it decomposes it becomes Fe2O3 and some water molecules are attached. We call this compound formed as hydrated iron oxide, iron 3 oxide, because valency of iron here is 3. And therefore, finally, you can see that iron, oxygen and water, all these three were the reactants, and eventually, finally, the product formed is Fe2O3 dot XH2O, because it's not a fixed number of water molecules. Sometimes there are more, sometimes there are less. So we show that by X. And just to balance this equation, we'll balance the water part last. So over here, you see that, okay, 2 ions here and 1 ion here. So we'll start with the oxygen first. That's better. Here you got 2 oxygen and 3 oxygen. So the LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. So in order to make both equal, I will put up 3 here. 3 2s will become 6. Therefore 3 is here. And over here this is 3. So I put a 2 here. So 2 3s oxygen will be 6. Same way iron will be 2 into 2, that's 4. So I put a 4 over here. So we have seen iron is balanced. Oxygen is balanced, and water molecules, we'll just put X because that is not fixed.